What's good? I'm Fitz, and this is the Retro Wrestling Review for Wednesday. Let's get into it. In Your House 5, sorry. Let's get into it. It starts off with a package about the Hart family drama. Bret Hart, British Bulldog's going to go at it for the world title. Diana's in the mix. They're throwing back to a lot of SummerSlam 92 stuff. We've got Vince and Jerry Lawler on commentary. Then no national anthem this time round, so must have just been a Canadian thing. Then we get Sid and a newly healed 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor Ramon and Marty Jannetty. During the match, we've got Goldust, who's watching kind of like ringside but a little distance away. During the match, we get Todd Pettingill, who comes and interviews Goldust, who's basically now found he's now the character that we know him as Goldust. He's really playing up the homosexual kind of innuendos and stuff like that, using machismo kind of, you know what I mean. He's talking about all this kind of stuff. And just before Pettingill can wrap up the interview with Goldust gives him a golden envelope and asks him to give that to Razor Ramon. Then back to the match. It's a decent enough match. I'd probably give it a 2 star, but it could have been 2.5 if it weren't for the weak finish. So we'll get to the finish. Razor Ramon's on the middle rope. He jumps off and catches Sid in a bulldog, and that's the pin. Straight after he's got the pin, he gets to his feet. 1-2-3 Kid gets in the ring, puts him up for the Razor's Edge, and somehow Sid's now on the outside of the ring well enough to pull 1-2-3 Kid out and save him. I can see obviously the building towards 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor, but for me, it was just a bit of a too much of a leap in logic to get there for me. So yeah, a bit of a dampener on it. I'm putting it around about 2 stars. Then we get the Superstar line advert. We've got Sonny and Jacques Rougeau. Sonny's going to be interviewing the winners. Jacques Rougeau's with the losers, I think it is. And basically, during the little advert, you see 1-2-3 Kid, Sid, and Ted DiBiase join the Superstar line. So it gives the impression that as soon as the match is done, these guys are available. Then we get Jerry Lawler introducing Jeff Jarrett. He's bringing him in to present a plaque for 500,000 copies sold of the Ain't I Great album. It's a bit of a nothing segment, but obviously it's building to something. Anytime there's a plaque or something with glass or whatever, you know that's getting broken somewhere along the line in that show. Next we get Dean Douglas. He's introducing his student, Buddy Landell, who's going to be teaching Ahmed a lesson for him tonight. Really quick squash match. Pearl River plunge. Ahmed gets the pin. Dean Douglas is like, he's got his head on the side of the ring apron, like so disappointed in it. Doesn't notice Ahmed outside the ring. Ahmed grabs Dean Douglas's paddles him. Douglas and Buddy Landau get out of there. Ahmed stands tall after like a 20-second match or something. It was crazy short. Then we get Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett with him again, but they're there for a post-match interview with Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed's doing his trademark shouting, no one can understand anything. Basically leading to Double J hitting him in the back of the head with the plaque. Like I say, it had to get smashed. Couple chair shots to the head, like really stiff looking ones, but somehow Ahmed fights back, chases Double J back to the backstage area. So yeah, Ahmed Johnson just looking super strong, and now obviously Ahmed and Double J are gonna be having some kind of feud. Then we get a backstage Razor Ramon interview with Todd Pettingill. He's talking about tomorrow night he's got a match against Yokozuna. Before he finishes the interview, he remembers to give him the envelope. He gives the envelope. Lawler's really adamant. Let's stick with this. Let's see how Razor reacts. Let's see what the letter says. And we see Razor reading the letter and basically screws up the letter, gets angry and storms out. Next, we've got Triple H and Henry Godwinn with a special ref of Hillbilly Jim. Why Hillbilly Jim? Because this is the hog pen match. So the loser is the person that's thrown into the hog pen with the wild pigs that are actually in there as well. So then, yeah, it wasn't a bad match, like leading up to the finish, but the fact that the finish ended with a backdrop, Triple H backdrops Godwinn, he remains undefeated. Little argument with Hillbilly Jim after the match. He's pushed towards Godwinn. Godwinn pulls him in, and yeah, like you notice straight away that Triple H has got some cuts on his back because he's bleeding all over his back, and yeah, he gets up, does a bunch of flare type bumps, frontwards, backwards, all kinds of ways. He's got it all over him. Yeah, you've got to think health and safety definitely weren't a thing in the mid-90s. But yeah, I'm gonna give that one probably a star and a half. Yeah, I'll go back. Ahmed's match, it was a squash. It's got to be 1 star. It can't be more than that. Then you get a classic Royal Rumble advert. That one brought back a lot of nostalgia for me. Then we get a Diesel and Owen package where it basically explains that the upcoming match. Diesel's thrown Brett through a table. Owens concussed Shawn Michaels with the Inseguri kick. So these men want to fight each other because basically they both got reasons to hate each other. So then we get Owen and Diesel with Jim Cornette at ringside. Pretty decent match, best Diesel match of the In Your House series so far anyway. We get Diesel hits a power bomb and then puts his foot on Owen's chest, gets the 2 count, takes his foot off, goes to give him another power bomb, saying this is for you, Shawn. The ref's arguing with him. Diesel pushes the ref. It hits Owen with another power bomb, but the ref gets up. He's DQ'd. Diesel. Owen Hart wins by disqualification. Obviously brought down the quality of the match, but it's just proved that Owen Hart was such a great wrestler. A lot of similarities with Owen and Brett. Like they could make any match work. Yeah, then we've got the superstar line again. Henry Godwinn and Triple H are on there stinking up the place. Then we get Savio and Santa being bribed by Ted DiBiase. Ted's saying that Santa's too fat to get around the world in one night. Savio's being questioned by Ted DiBiase, do you believe in Santa? When Savio says yeah. Santa then attacks Savio Vega. And yeah, Savio tries to fight back through the aisle going back to the backstage. And it turns out that we don't know who he is at the time, but retrospectively, Balls Mahoney is Santa Claus. So big reveal there. Then we get a Mabel and Taker package explaining how Mabel's like put Taker on the shelf recently with the face injury. Then we get Mabel making an entrance whilst Doc Hendrix pops up trying to sell the WrestleMania arcade game for Sega Genesis. This one's going to be a casket match, so Mabel's graffitied all over the casket. It's a very, very large casket, so it kind of tells you who's going in it. Pretty short match, I'm not going to lie. It's exactly what you expect when I say it was Undertaker before he was allowed to really show his athleticism too tough. Most he got was like old school and maybe that the jumping lariat or something, but yeah, hits Mabel with a choke push because you're not getting him up for the slam. Mabel, to his credit, did try to jump, but it just looked like his legs had been taken out from underneath him. Not much happened there. Gets rolled into the casket, and then Mo jumps in, tries to hit Undertaker, who no sells all the hits. Hits Mo with an actual choke slam, throws him in the casket. Before he closes it, he goes back into the casket, takes the chain, which is actually the urn melted down into a chain off Mo's neck, and yeah, closes it. Undertaker gets the win. It's what everybody expects it to be when I say Mabel versus Undertaker in what, 94, 95 in a casket match. It was that. Next we get JR backstage interviewing Cornette, Diana, and Bulldog. Um, they then cut over to Todd Pettingill, who interviews Bret Hart. And to be honest, they should have just left it with a quick little promo from Jim Cornette. He summed it up perfectly in his short space. That tonight Bulldog's gonna beat Bret, because Bret's never beaten Bulldog before in a singles match. And yeah, what more did you need to say? You know what I mean? Then we get the actual match, Bulldog versus Bret. We've got Cornette and Diana in Bulldog's corner. It's for the title. Throughout the match, we're getting lots of cuts to Diana reacting in really like faces that I've never seen anyone pull reacting to anything. So I don't, yeah, either really poor acting or maybe some kind of upset stomach or something. Um, but then yeah, we go outside. Bret gets pushed into the steps, and considering Bret Hart never gets caught with any kind of blade job or anything, this one seemed a bit blatant for me. Um, Lots of blood after that, and yeah, essentially it wraps up with Bret wrapping up Bulldog in like a crucifix roll up, which okay, it's a decent little throwback to SummerSlam '92, but as the main event of its own pay per view, that didn't feel like as much of a emotional roller coaster. Yeah, I just don't think it landed as much. But again, probably the best main event for an In Your House so far. Gotta say 2.5 star. Then we get a little extra thing at the end of the Bret Hart match where it cuts to Todd Pettingill giving a basically announcement that Undertaker's the number one contender. Undertaker and Paul Bearer are there with him. Diesel storms in. He basically wants to be number one contender for Taker's shots at the Royal Rumble, by the way. But Diesel wants that shot. Tense head to head between them two, and that's the end of it there. So on a whole, fairly entertaining show, but yeah, I think we're actually now pretty much out of the woods. I think the next one or the one after is where it's kind of smooth sailing from here on out, if I'm remembering correctly from being a kid. But yeah, let's see what comes with In Your House 6 next week. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.